red-white tokens. This is a Divine Visitation deck. The other thing that also kind of impressed me last time we were playing this deck is that the Tilonalli's Summoner, this card was actually really easy to hit Ascend with between all of our other tokens and just it making more tokens. TSB Coke, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate that. So we made a couple of changes. We played this deck once before. I added some Memorial to Glories and went up a land. We added some Siege Gang Commanders. This deck went pretty well last time we played it though, so let's dive back on into the queue and see how it goes with some updates. Isn't 25 land overkill with this deck? I don't think so at all. This deck has, not only are the summoners cards that allow you a mana sink to dump large amounts of mana into, but one of the things you need to consider that I think enough players don't think about a lot of the time is that I have 2 of the memorials that make tokens. So while I do have 25 lands in my deck, 2 of those lands can be turned into spells when I have too many lands. So basically I have 23 dedicated lands, and then I have 2 other slots that are sometimes lands, sometimes spells. Do you like that Azorius is less control focused this time around? I really do. It's really exciting to see. Like, people are really worried about Teferi taking over with gaining Azorius control cards, so like focusing that guild into tempo makes a lot of sense, I think. Thanks for your work in the community and the content, J Boz. Thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What matchups are Ixalan's Bindings better than Conclave Tribunal? I would think the Convoke would be stronger. Yeah, the control matchups especially, decks that have Niv Mizzet. Taking someone's Niv Mizzet off the table is a really big deal. And then not letting them play another disinformation campaign, okay. Been Legion's Landing here, it's the least impactful card in our hand. Double reinforcements is real good. I don't believe Divine Visitation is optional. I believe it's a replacement effect. I have no idea which guild's going to be good in the next set. We haven't seen most of the spoiler yet. Ravenous Chupacabra, sure. Chupacabra is interesting. Driving in my car, beep beep. Would like to smash you, it sure is neat. Hope no one wrecks into me. Sure. You got me. Beep boop. Hit it. Dunk, 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 dunk. Boop goes the weasel. Do 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 do. Beep 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 do 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 do. Hashtag elves in all formats. So I think I want to pull up in this matchup because they're pretty likely to have more sweepers and smaller removal post board. I think I'm going to leave the Lava Coils rather than the Shocks. While the Shock does offer a little bit of reach, which is nice, the opponent's playing Grixis, which likely means they have access to Nicol Bolas. So I don't really care about getting wins in the leagues. And in my experience, if your MMR gets high enough like ours is at this point, you actually get better quality opponents in terms of like their deck quality in the traditional queue versus playing in the leagues, because a lot of the people who are playing in the leagues are people who have incomplete decks that are trying to farm gold to get better decks. So I don't really care about like earning gold on Arena. I just want to play like meaningful matches of Magic against people who like have cards. No Justice Strikes. I have Ixalan's Binding if that's a card we're really concerned about. It's a pretty reasonable curve here. It's a little bit awkward that we have so many mountains. If I draw something like a History of Benalia, we can't cast it currently. Like treasure tokens. Is that what you're asking about? Like there's treasure tokens in the new set? I haven't looked at any of the spoilers today. I don't really look at spoilers live stream. Someone shared the Mystic Stake spoiler, but that's about all I've looked at. think Honor Guard for Chupacabra is probably a little bit narrow. I don't like to bring in Tecatli Honor Guard unless I know I'm going to be hitting a lot of their stuff. Like, a 1-3 for 2 is not something that's meaningful in this matchup. Something that's important to note is that Tilonalli Summoner with Legion's Landing is not a combo, so the tokens that are put into play attacking with this will not trigger Legion's Landing. Open and draw land here. Yeah, that's exactly like a land, right? Would you say a few words about why there's 25 lands in your deck when the top of your curve is 5 and you have Legion's Landing? Because I only have 3 copies of Legion's Landing. You shouldn't count Legion's Landing as a land. You're going to be incredibly sad if you put Legion's Landing in your deck and you count it in the land slot. There's going to be plenty of games like this. This game's actually a great example of why you, in fact, should not count Legion's Landing as a land slot. People in general, apparently people like losing to Mana Screw. If your deck curves out to 5, 25 lands should be the minimum number of lands in your deck. I don't know what the hypergeometric says offhand, but it's definitely 25 plus if you want to curve to 5 consistently. I don't have exact numbers for you, but it's somewhere in that range. In general, you'll lose far more games of Magic to not being able to cast your spells than you're going to lose to having too many lands, especially in a format like this, where we're able to, play utility lands like the Memorials. All right, so they left an Eldest Reborn against me. Wild. I called this red-white tokens on the theme. It's more of a mid-range red-white deck. I wonder if I want Ixalan's Binding more so than Lava Coil. That might be the case. It takes out things like their Eldest Reborn if they get to a position where that's relevant. This deck's also boarding up into more 4 and 5 drops, which makes you want to play more lands even more. Yeah, I think that messes some people up. The fact that Golgari plays so few lands, and honestly, I think most Golgari decks should be on 25 lands, even with their Explore creatures. I am using a Standing Disc currently. Did we not see? We didn't see any red lands that game. They might just be straight blue-black. You're right. Drawing our land there was good. This hand's actually really strong here. If they don't have a way to disrupt us, I'm gonna have to flip Legion Landing next turn by making a token with this. All right, so I assume they're holding up a removal spell here. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and attack with just these two and then play History of Benalia post-combat, because this feels like a moment of craving and I'd rather this die to it than... Wait, what? That had to have been a misclick, right? Must have been a misclick. Yeah, the human body, especially my human body, is on average much happier standing than sitting, especially for long periods of time. That counterspell actually bodes well for us, I think, because it means they're less likely to have a sweeper effect. I mean, Flower Flourish is much closer to being countable as a land than Legion's Landing. I think for all intents and purposes, Flower Flourish can almost count as a land most of the time. The subset of games where I wouldn't count it as a land are pretty few and far between. Oh, that's true too. There's a chance they don't understand how indestructible interfaces with the cards that they're playing. So I think I'm just not going to play around a sweeper here, and I'm just going to play the summoner out. because even if they have the sweeper, the heroic reinforcements cleans them up. So this only gets punished by golden demise, and even golden demise, we're still in an okay spot, right? Because I like reinforcements and correct them to 2. But ritual of soot, they'll be dead. Paper. Adanto plus Visitation is kind of hot. Who's the weasel? Yeah. There's this deck lines up pretty well into like what the opponent's blue-black deck is doing. We hit them on a lot of different angles of attack, between the Adantos and the History of Benalia and the flying creatures and all that jazz. All that jazz. JRH, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. It's like, okay. This is like a white weenie hand, basically, right? Just like landing into Adanto. Well, I mean, like, it's important to remember that, like, alting Dovanbon, this new Dovanbon, is not, like, ultimating one of these 5-mana planeswalkers, right? Like, ultimating Dovanbon isn't you do it and you win the game type play. It's a you get ahead type play. It's, like, good, but it's not, like, you game winning. Yeah, this is definitely a mid-range archetype. Alrighty. B, aggressive. B, E, aggressive. Apparently they've had enough of our aggression for today. How we doing, folks? Welcome. Thanks everybody for dropping by today. Hope everyone's having a great Friday, a great start to your weekend. My name's Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. We play nothing but Constructed on this channel. I play Standard on Arena on Monday through Friday every afternoon. I play some Modern and Legacy on Magic Online every morning. If you find yourself enjoying my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. While I love what I do here, the reason why I'm able to be here as often as I am is because of my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. By subscribing, you can also support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. Harry's Razors would love to help you get that close, clean shave. Using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/HoagleShave, you could save $5 on your brand new starter kit with them, getting that for as little as $5 shipped. Remember, just because you like playing the degenerate decks doesn't mean you need to look like it. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars. Using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HoagleBar, you can save 10% on your order there with them. Smash Your Toe, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed this month with that. HurlyBurlyStudio.com does wonderful professional Magic the Gathering altars. They do border extensions and all sorts of other fantastic stuff there. And you can save 10% on your purchase of them by using code Jeff10 at your checkout. And of course, BCW supplies are the only sleeves that I trust to protect my wonderful, beautiful altars. You can get their Elite Guard sleeves, deck boxes, binders, and all sorts of other fantastic stuff at BCWsupplies.com. And save 10% there as well by using code Jeff10. We are heading back on into our next match here with the Red White Tokens deck. Hopefully we find someone other than the some blue-black that we played against a couple of times here. Onward, upward, backward, forward here. You can find wonderful professional pictures of the altars here on her website. I do need to get my lighting fixed. I actually need to pick up some glasses of some sort. So I actually have studio lights that are like here, and they're currently off because when I shifted to doing streaming full time, when I was sitting under the lights for 8 hours a day, my eyes were getting really strained. So my cave stays dark so I can sit here for, you know, 8, 9, 10 hours. Otherwise my eyes get real sad. and they have the Justice Strike. So when your opponent plays Legion Warboss, you need to put a stop during their main phase so they don't get a token like this. Beep, beep. Boop, boop. And if they have a counterspell here, I'm okay jamming into it, because I'm going to have another card to jam into a counterspell next turn. Because our archetype doesn't have things like discard spells or counter magic of our own, the way we play through counterspells is by jamming into them. Hey guys, from using dark mode and everything? Yeah, basically. Ooh, ooh, ship it. There's a list of upcoming decks I'll be playing this week. Yeah, you can find my deck queue on my website. Also, bit.ly/deck queue. Things get updated and changed as new people add things to it, but in general, you can always find the upcoming decks that I'm going to be playing there.
Let's skip to the good part.
This is like our deck stream draw, right? It's like Divine Visitation into Siege Gang Commander. Trigger. Apparently they weren't scared of the Visitation. We'll teach them. White Source. Wrath of God. Damn it.
No time for a break.
For reference, these do not stack. This is a replacement effect. We did ask for it. I have no one to blame but myself. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. Do, 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 do. Having a little bit of wrong half problem here. We've got Lava Coil in our hand here, which is a card that effectively doesn't have a text box in this matchup. So basically mulliganed. I mean, I assume they're not tucking the Visitation because their hand is just like mono Doom Blades, just like lots of things to kill our creatures. Alright, I'm going to take one draw at Heroic Reinforcements here. A whole stream in the Wrath of God voice. It's probably not possible.
Hold that thought.
Alright, Bindings, Banefires, Tajics, Aurelias, Lava Coils out, Shocks out. Need a couple more cuts here. Is Binding good enough? Maybe Lyra's not good enough. Let's leave one Binding in. Yeah, Lyra's not particularly aggressive. Let's give this a go. Sit down for a hot second. Been seeing it for a while. Thanks everyone for hanging out today. This deck's doing stuff. I don't know if it's quite Elf Ball sweet though. I feel like Elf Ball is pretty secure in its deck of the day slot. Yeah, it's hard to pass up. Turn 3 Legion Warboss on the play, assuming we hit the land. Nothing but professionalism here. Get him. Just give him the smackdown. Stream Decker's working fine here. Loaded right up for me. I mean, the Summoner doesn't make permanent tokens for a while, whereas the Warboss makes permanent tokens every turn. So I think their choice there makes a lot of sense. This actually hits us the city's blessing, right? Ding. I would like permanent friends, please. Oh, seal away Aurelia. Yeah, that's a good reason to give this vigilance. That's a good call. I think you're right that I should have played around seal away there. No, City's Blessing is permanent. It just is. You either have it or you don't. Maybe they're born with it, or maybe it's the City's Blessing. Actually, so if you didn't watch the last time we played this deck, Reaper, there were actually 3 copies of Experimental Frenzy in it the last time we played, and it was pretty unimpressive. One of the things I think people lose sight of when talking about Experimental Frenzy is that the decks that Frenzy's in are so good, people think it's good everywhere that has red mana, but Frenzy has really large diminishing returns as the converted mana cost in your deck gets larger, and this deck has a lot of 3, 4, and 5 mana spells in it, which makes it not a very good Frenzy deck. Maybe I'm supposed to play around Syncopate here. Negate. Rough. Wow, super brutal. That sucks. Woof. I actually really like keeping Negate in this matchup out of the control decks. So like, I actually even leave Negate in as a control deck against like white-red aggro, and our deck even has more non-creatures than that. All of the really key cards the control deck cares about out of this archetype get countered by something like Negate. It stops History of Benalia, it stops Heroic Reinforcements, it stops Experimental Frenzy if they have it, just like all the high impact cards are non-creatures.
more games.
1 mana short of this killing it all on its own. We have another negate. That's brutal. Yep. Banefire is only uncounterable if X is 5 or more, so I did not have the option to make that uncounterable, unfortunately.
Hurry!
Beep, beep. $12 or $8. Got him! Got him! Listen, chat, listen. At some point in the history of this stream, I was bound to make them have a settle the wreckage and not immediately concede. And statistically speaking, at some point, I was gonna attack for lethal into a settle the wreckage and not get immediately settled. It was bound to happen eventually, okay? All I'm saying. So maybe we should clip that one for like, what's going on, Snap Bolt Snap? Thanks for not having to settle at the end. They did have settle mana. They did have settle mana. Oh, this hand's so good. This hand's so good if we draw a lot of lands. That's how all your 6 and 7 spell hands look though, right? Just like there's no lands in here, so the spells look great. Fair Zum. As a heads up, if you're on the desktop, if you mouse over their mana, you can see what all their lands are. All right, so Shock and 2 blue-red lands, probably Drake's. Could still be Jeskai Control, but Jeskai Control often doesn't play Shock. That was a fantastical draw. Good strong curve here now. 3, 4, 5. Read. Driving in my car, beep beep. One of the things that I really like about this deck, in general, I really like mid-range decks and like the type of Magic that they play. And the fact that this is an aggressively slanted mid-range deck is one of my favorite types of decks to play in Magic, because it gives you draws like this where you can punish your opponent when they stumble, but you also have some staying power by playing larger pieces of top end. Yeah, could be Izzet Control, could be Drake's, not really sure yet. This was a good pick on their part. They killed our Goblin rather than our Soldier, because the Goblin has synergy with things like Siege Gang Commander. He's dead, Jim. You killed him! You're a monster! Alright, sometimes Flood does beat Screw. If you have enough aggression. Recorded for all time. Got it. Thank you, Boomer. yeah, not a whole lot they could do there. Drakes. Probably want Lyra. I think Siege Gang's a little clunky. Do I want Ixalan's Binding? Probably. Legion Warboss dies to a lot of their deck. Aurelia's probably fine. Let's bring in the Flyers. They block. They could be a Phoenix deck too. We don't know exactly what they're doing. Has there been Grixis Control or more Grixis Dragon with Stark Alternative? Neither of those archetypes are super popular. So they both see some amounts of fringe play, but neither of them are like heavy players in the current format. And I expect we'll see a lot more Grixis once Blood Crypt gets into the equation. Not having Blood Crypt's a big killjoy for them. Second White Sorcerer is fantastic. We get to curve Adanto into History of Benalia here, which are both very good threats against blue-red decks. Tajic to protect against Fiery Cannonade, maybe? I don't know. Three drops that die to Shock feel a little mediocre. I mean, like, Shock's less of a reason to play Tajic. Like, Shock is a huge tempo loss when they shock your Tajic. Some of the just Drake stacks have played Discovery as well. The Spicy Tuna deck was just kind of okay. As always, if you miss a stream when I do it live, you can always go back and catch the replay on my YouTube channel. And at the end of every video, especially for decks we played the first time, I always do a kind of concise wrap-up segment for what I liked, didn't like, and whether or not I think a deck is worth working on more. Yep, he's dead. We've not played Bantwall super recently. That deck's been a lot of fun. Someone said they spoiled a new card for that today. I also had someone re-add that to the queue for after we get the new set. Drake, yep. Confirm Drakes, it looks like here. I think it's great when there's powerful cards in Magic that aren't rares. Look at Adanto Vanguard. Look at Heroic Reinforcements. These are both incredibly powerful cards that are not rares. Magic Green has always had music, as far as I'm aware. So if I play this land and then I make 4 tokens with this, I'll have the City's Blessing and get to keep them. So I think that's worth attacking here. Hey, Y2K, thanks for the 6-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. And then I'll have a bunch of tokens next turn for when I jam the Heroic Reinforcements in. So they take 7 here, down to 7. Thud, 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 thud. Yeah, Summoner's been super reasonable today. Super reasonable. The art in this elemental is also awesome. That doesn't bode well for our hero. Digging for Fiery Cannonade, or do they already have it? It's my favorite animation. I really like Dream Eater. Dream Eater or Arcadis. We were just talking about Bant Defenders. The Arcadis animation is also fantastic. So they're dead. Hey, D, thanks for the 10-month resub. I really appreciate the continued support. Welcome back. Smork, smork, smork. Smork, 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 smork. What is the soil of Paxtabai? I think your autocorrect got you there, old man MTG. What word did we intend to use? What split of packs to buy? How many packs are you buying? I would recommend getting at least 90 guilds to start. Probably a little bit more than that. Getting all the shock lands is a good idea. The sand's really good. Let's do it. Well, History of Benalia was just the best possible draw in our deck there. Just like, no, zero doubt about it. Just actual, factual, best possible draw in the deck. We just got 2 shots to hit an untapped land on 4. We get to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like actual stone perfects. Trying to figure out if they want to trade there since I have Legion landing in play. So, Legion Warboss here is actually better than History of Benalia, because this lets me guaranteed flip, or Legion Warboss, sorry, lets me guaranteed flip the Legion landing, which is great. So that way I can guaranteed heroic reinforcements next turn, which is nice. Although, if I draw a land next turn, I might go Summoner Benalia, and then heroic reinforcements the turn after. Depends on what they do here as well. Just concedes to the board. Deal. Aurelia and Lyra are both great here. Visitation is not something that I need. I think Legion Warboss is actually Adanto Vanguard and Legion Warboss are both kind of mediocre here. I probably don't mind seeing Tecatli. Thanks for the good content. It makes studying easier. Thanks for the 3 months, Ryom. Hey, appreciate that. Welcome back. So while we had a very aggressive start there on the play that allowed us to pressure our opponent out of the game, I think on average, we're going to assume a more controlling role in this matchup because our deck is a little bit bigger than theirs, especially post-board. We get some 4s and 5s in the mix. I don't think Tajic's very good in this matchup. He's just like a 3-2 we can pay extra to get first strike, but he like doesn't block profitably on his own and doesn't attack into a lot of board states effectively. I think I'm fine keeping him relegated to the sideboard. It's a pretty good draw. Now, I probably could have just put this into play tapped here. There's really not a reason to shock a lot of things on 2, because I'm going to have Tecatli on our guard just to, like, block whatever they play. There's no black creatures in this matchup, so, I'm just going to go ahead and kill this. If they have, if they play, what's it called, History of Benalia as a follow-up, I'll be happy that's not in play. Probably end up going, Memorial to Glory into Summoner next turn. Sure. So because I think I'm a little bit more controlling here, I'm not going to attack them because I don't think hitting them for one is worth taking one from this in the backswing. No, I really don't like best of one Magic, so we only play best of 3 on the stream. So pretty much everything we play is best of 3 for on Arena. Magic's got a lot of pretty frustrating variants in it. When you play best of 1, it makes that variance worse in my opinion. Is Bronze 4 where you start? I honestly have no idea. So next turn I can activate the summoner and then make 4 tokens and keep them. But is it worth getting rid of my summoner to do that? Because it's going to get eaten by their 2/2s. History of Benalia is pretty good. The longer I wait to activate my summoner to cash it in, the more tokens I get out of it. So I think I'm gonna wait a hot second here. You feel like rank is the only thing worth grinding for? I mean, the rank at the moment isn't really meaningful in the slightest. There aren't any worthwhile prizes tied to it. You get like 5 booster packs and 1,000 gold, which is like super insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Do I want to offer this trade? I think I do, because if they take this trade, then they're not double blocking something else. No, if the tokens put into play off the summoner cause you to ascend, you still keep the tokens. So the Tilonalli trigger for exiling the tokens at the end of your turn checks if you have the city's blessing at the end of the turn. Really? They're not trading for my 2/2? Not trading for my 2/2 seems super loose. Oh, weird. Do they have... I wonder if they have a Loxodon in their hand, and that's why they're choosing to take the Tilonalli Honor Guard off the table. Yeah, it is weird. It does always make you manually tap for the ability, which is really awkward. Yeah, Rivals of Ixalan, unfortunately, is a set that just kind of goes down in history as being overshadowed by Kaladesh for a lot of its lifetime. Like, even now we're seeing some of it, but a lot of the, like, half its time spent in Standard was just, like, greatly overshadowed. Treasures have slowly gotten faster to crack. Once upon a time, the animation was really slow, and they've made it faster as time has gone on. It's like not amazing, but I think it's definitely in the range of keepable here, especially when they mulligan. Yeah, I agree, Rolk. I really wish they would have tried to stuck to the twice-a-year rotation for a little while. They, I think the result of the twice-a-year rotation, when they went back on it, was they took correlation to equate to causation when it didn't necessarily mean it. Like, they thought rotation happening more often was the reason why standard numbers were dwindling, when in reality, the standard format was just really bad. Like, it's possible that the double rotation also hurt it, but I think there's also a big chance that like they were incorrectly reading that based on other factors. That is one of the downsides to playing a multicolor deck, is you stumble on colors. Niv, hey, can we use my tier 3 sub from this month and this 350 to put Allie's red white prison deck in the queue? Definitely. Thanks for the support, I appreciate it. The standard queue's staying pretty trim, so tier 3 subs that add decks should get played up almost instantly. Probably be up the next time we stream. Be one of the upsides of doing more standard content. The people that put decks in the standard queue won't have to wait long at all. Rough. So one thing I really wish they would have considered. And this is one of the things, this is like, I've ranted about this before, but so one of the things people complained about when we had faster rotation is that your cards rotating in 18 months was too quick. But the way rotation currently works is, while there are 2 sets of Magic cards that are legal for 24 and 21 months, we also have sets that are legal for 18 and 15 months. It's really weird to me that some cards are only legal in standard for almost half the time of other cards in the format. In my opinion, a really elegant solution to the rotation problem, instead of getting rid of the twice-a-year rotation, they should have kept rotation twice per year, but instead made it so every set in the format was legal for 24 and 21 months. So still rotate twice per year, but keep everything legal for longer. That's what I wish they would have tried at least. Because the battle cry of the people who like didn't want faster rotation to be a thing were like, well, we don't want our cards to only be legal for 18 months. I think rotating every time a new set releases is probably too much, Bob. I also think it's harder to test formats like that too. You think that's too complex? I think it's actually incredibly easy to keep up with. You tell people Magic standard format is always 7 or 8 sets. Every other set release, the oldest 2 sets rotate out. It's very quick. It's like it's less than 3 sentences. It's very, very, very easy for me to explain to you what it is and how it works. Pinky, thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that. I knight thee, defender of the realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. Yeah, people hate change. People hate change, and just we're gonna be upset with rotation regardless of what happened. Yeah, at the end of the day, people just don't like things that are different. Zerim's mother, thank you for poking in and shipping that Twitch Prime to me. I appreciate that. Thanks for the extra support. Oh, you know what? They did show me Drakes, didn't they? Yeah, I should have left some Lava Coils in. We were talking and I kind of autopiloted. I autopiloted to boarding like I was boarding against Jeskai control, but we definitely saw Drakes. Hex, the lights are on, but nobody is home for Hex. Their servers are still running, but there's like no one playing. Yeah, year-long subs are modded. We're the best moderated channel on Twitch. There is a legion of knights here. People who have showed up for a year understand the channel rules and can execute them accordingly. If we ever have an issue, it's pretty trivial to unmod someone, so I'm not really worried about it. All right. I think I am currently, this is weird because usually we're not in this position. I believe we are in a position to beat Settle the Wreckage, so I'm going to play around it. No luck, kid. Thanks for the 3-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Hex ran out of money. Games industry is not easy to be a part of. Have I ever had to unmod someone? Not yet. Not yet. But you know what? I figure as someone who likes to predict the expected value of particular activities, if someone wanted to, you know, pay me $60 over the course of a year in subscriptions to eventually like ban a bunch of people who I could very easily unban and then take their mod powers away, I think that's a good play for me. Guess I should have played this pre-combat. Yeah, I honestly wasn't expecting a second settle.
Let's see what you got.
Alright, it's not a bad draw. I got like halfway through that post-thread menace before I realized what you were doing. I was like, oh no, what is this nonsense that I have to respond to? We've ascended.
The search for the unknown. That's real science.
Honestly, Banefire is kind of sad more than anything because like Banefire gives me this like glimmer of hope when the light would otherwise be utterly extinguished, right? Like the Banefire here is like, well, I guess I'm gonna keep playing this game that I'm like completely dead in because I could like draw exactly my second Banefire. All right, we couldn't beat 2 settles. Couldn't beat the second settle. Let's run it back here on the plate. And we need 5 more lands, or we need another Banefire. So all the hands with all spells are always so good. Why are they always so good? Hey, Emporix, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Nah, I actually don't think I want the Lava Coil. We played a pretty long game there, and I think there's a good chance there aren't that many Drakes in my opponent's deck. This curve actually turns on the City's Blessing really quickly. So like next turn I'm gonna play a 4th land, have another permanent here, and then ascend and keep these tokens. And by that I mean we're about to get Deafening Clarion, so it doesn't matter. I'd probably play one of the Wacky Rule constructed events for like 50. The Wacky Rule constructed events just don't have a lot of replayability on YouTube and stuff, so they don't build brand as well. Oh, they don't have another land. That's good for me. The most terrifying part about them missing a land drop here is that it means there's like 6 spells in their hand. Just like this is awkward. I do Modern or Legacy on Magic Online every stream in the morning now, Emporix. So I'll have what's it called? I'll have the Legacy and a Modern video published on YouTube tonight when I'm done with the stream today.
We need to move quickly.
We need to move quickly. Shut up, Teferi. Nobody believes you. You ain't moving anywhere quickly, Teferi. Alright, well, I mean, I could technically kill Teferi here. But, like, they're at 60. I'm just gonna kill Teferi and then concede. Just, like, let Teferi know how I feel. That's what I think of your face, Teferi. People complain to you about being timed out in DMs. That's great. Man, listen, we didn't win the game, but we won the battle, even if we didn't win the war. We killed the Teferi before we were done. Very rarely. It happens very, very seldomly. I want to be a bot now so that people complain. This hand's really good in general. My favorite is when people message me and they're like, your mods are out of control. They timed me out for such and such. I get to respond with like, that was actually me and you broke my stream rules. Stop being a jerk. Maybe read the things you're clicking through. Because people are just like so unused to like streamers moderating their own chat. They just like assume my moderators have to be doing it. We have real, that was, yeah, so someone, we have real mod problems. I was like, yeah, we do. Yeah, ain't got no mod problems around here. Occasionally we have viewer problems. The mods take care of them, okay? All right, we need to peer deep into our opponent's soul and ask ourselves a really important question. Do they have Settle the Wreckage? Are we feeling lucky? This is lethal, right? This is 14. Listen, you don't put heroic reinforcements in your deck to not attack into Settle the Wreckage, okay? That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is you don't put, and also, can I just point out for a second that this is a lethal attack and they deafening Clarioned me on turn 3? Can we just appreciate for a moment that they deafening Clarioned us on 3 and this is a lethal attack? God bless America. You can always find past deck lists that I played on stream on my YouTube channel and my website. In the video descriptions, there are full deck lists that you can easily find. There's been a ton of Jeskai control today. What's the last deck we're playing? Oh, the last deck's actually probably gonna be pretty good against Jeskai. It's got Muldrotha nonsense. Seems like not amazing against control. I'd prefer a 2-drop on 2, but Benalia into Legion Warboss are pretty good. Yeah, we've gotten there was one that didn't settle the wreckage us. We attacked for lethal. Y'all remember that one time we attacked for lethal and to settle the wreckage and they didn't have it? Y'all remember? Sultai's got plenty of good finishers. Have you met my friend Carnage Tyrant? Carnage Tyrant's a great finisher. Carney T and I go way back. He does good work. That Carney T. Beep beep. Oh, that's brutal. Hopefully we draw land to binding. They're binding here. Oh, woof. Scale of 1 to dead. Pretty dead.
Oh, come on. I just want to peek. The weight is killing me.
I think we'd have been fine through the Ixalan binding if we'd have hit our 4th land on time. Alright, so you're saying there's a chance.
Come on. Time to choose. Always so exciting.
How am I preparing for the implosion of the total US economy? I'm just not looking at my IRA account. Just sticking my fingers in my ears and pretending it doesn't exist. So I think I actually want to give the Knight token the extra attack here, because this way they can't seal away this. It's worse if they have, Yep.
Come on.
It'll jump back up at some point. I'm just very happy I'm nowhere near retirement. I mean, cashing out when everything's low isn't exactly good advice. I think I have Visitation here. No joke, wax papers. That's why I went to grad school. I wasn't super interested in going to grad school, but I got an offer to be a TA, and I was just like, I really don't want to go to work. I think we just double history, right? I work for a US bank in the UK. Rough. Whoa! Brutal. Wow, get played, Hogland. Nice 5-mana enchantment. All right, scoreboard. We've been taking at least one game off control every set. Double history confirmed good. That was even after we missed a line drop there, which was great. Schmitty Games with the brand new Prime support. Thank you very much for shipping your Basil bucks this way this month. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Ooh, Sam's got a lot of high impact cards in it. There's another white source. I get to make 2 plays off of Legion Warboss and Tajic before I need the white source, so I think that's fine. Although turn 3 for my first play can be a little bit slow in this matchup. Well, their start's not exactly blistering. Alright, so we just go history into history here now, right? Ionize me, baby. Nagate, yep. I love there's a noise when you shuffle the cards in your hand. That's what all the real Magic players want. Just want that sweet noise while you flick through the cards in your hand. Just like, give it to me. Yeah. It's that little bit of tactile feedback. I am the reason Christy sleeves all of our board games. Whenever you give me a hand of cards, regardless of what they are, I just like sit here and do this with them instinctually. Just like been hammered into my brain.
I know my responsibility. Let's skip to the good part.
It's funny, we play a game called Happy Pigs, and the game has tiles for each player in it, and you can tell that I always use the blue tiles because the blue tiles are worn because I sit there and shuffle the tiles like poker chips or cards. Oh, Magarados with the brand new tier 1 sub. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. For those who aren't familiar, if you've never played Tournament Magic before, it is strategically advantageous to shuffle all of the cards in your hand whenever you draw a card for the turn while playing Tournament Magic, because this gives your opponent less information about which cards you just drew for the turn.
Hold that thought.
God, my body is ready to get Settle the Wreckaged. Oh, do they not have it? That's so good for me. This Tajic hopefully means I'm about to kill this Teferi. If we kill this Teferi, we might actually be close to parity. This means I'm pretty likely to kill. I get negated. Do I Tajic or do I Heroic Reinforcements? This loses to a single spell. You've already played one negate. I'm gonna Heroic Reinforcements. Sweet. I mean, I don't really need to insulate from Clarion. I just want to get the stupid Teferi off the table. I think I should prioritize whatever gets the Teferi off the table. I think the Heroic Reinforcements is my highest probability chance of doing that. Rude. That's my favorite voice projector. What's going on, Aslo? Got one more deck today before we're done. Let's wrap it up our last match here with red-white tokens. Then we're going to play some Sultai Muldrotha to close things up for the day. That's actually a really sweet idea. It would be kind of awesome if there were like some really powerful cards in Arena that like permanently modified the battlefield. That actually sounds incredibly hot. The Muldrotha deck is up next. So decks on the stream title are decks that we have yet to play today. Smashy, smashy. So they need a Cleansing Nova here. Deafening Clarion no longer kills my goblins. Ding. Tajic's Hidden Text. Oh, that's a good one. I was gonna hold it till the new set, like you asked me to, Bob. But I can go either way on that. You let me know. I had it flagged in there to hold for the new set, but that's not gonna be till the 16th. Come seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away with me. In fact, I think I should need to. I think I'm gonna sort some of those out into a different category. Dunk, dunk. Yeah, that's actually a good question. I played Siege and Commander during my first main phase because that way if my opponent had a seal away that they were going to play inside of combat to get rid of my 2/2 Goblin, I could sacrifice it in response. No, the 16th is coming early for Arena. So need to dodge sweepers and card advantage from them. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can leave one goblin back here. Play around, seal away a little bit. It's so weird that it makes me tap all the lands manually for this. It's really annoying. I mean, they have nothing, and we have Banefires, and our deck is so much gas in it now, right? Just like mono gas. $32 cards. We've got 12, 15, so there's only 10 lands and 32 cards. So deck is 2/3 gas. That's a very good draw for them. Also a very good draw for them.
If you show remorse, no time for a break.
I mean, the deck thinning becomes more significant when it's trimming 8 cards out of your deck. Like, our deck went from 16 lands and 40 cards to 8 lands and 32 cards, which is a big difference. The face is the place, chat. The face is the place.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet. Did Nox sign off? Looks like we jumped up. Yeah, looks like it. Thanks, Archimedes. I'm glad you enjoy it. Remember, if you find yourself enjoying my content, I'm going to be only doing one more deck today. I'm going to be going for another hour and a half or so. If you enjoy the way I describe my plays and stuff like that, you can always find more of my stuff on my YouTube channel and my website. Basically, everything I stream gets archived in those places.
I won't let you win.
They did fix our Teferi problem. Should we screenshot this -19? I feel like I need to tweet this with like he's seen some stuff. The Jeskai list on my website is my preferred Jeskai list, yes. Sure, Robert. I mean, we thinned most of the lands out of our deck, not all of them. Not all of them. This has been a heck of a game of Magic. Master deck shuffling is. The ASMR deck shuffling definitely puts it up over the top. Thanks for the compliment, Soaka. Sai Noaka. Twitch usernames will be the death of me. Just came from the Vanguard survived a meteor. The dinos did not, but the Vanguard will survive. Ah ha ha ha. Staying alive, staying alive. Boop 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 doo. Days in, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. All right. I didn't think this game could get any closer. Holy moly. Woo-hoo! Oh, baby. I don't even know if we need this, but I need this, okay? I don't know about the rest of you, but I need this. Oh, Dorkin! Got him! We're doing it! Yeah, we're doing it! How dare that Vanguard survived so much and you took it away from him. This build felt pretty reasonable. I think Jeskai control is probably one of the harder matchups for this deck, and I think we ended up going like 50-50 against it overall, and we took games off of it in all the matches that we played. I like this build with Siege Gang Commander and the extra lands a lot more than the previous build with Experimental Frenzies that we played, because again, like we talked about earlier today, the higher the converted mana cost is on average in your deck, the more diminishing return something like Experimental Frenzy tends to have, because if you have more expensive spells, you're drawing fewer cards per turn, because you can afford to not play all of your spells out at once. So if you're looking for a more mid-range red-white deck, I kind of like a lot of what this deck is doing. One thing worth noting is that there's probably a very good chance that Divine Visitation is just win more in this deck, and you should maybe be playing 4 Siege Gang Commanders, but at the same time, Divine Visitation is also very sweet, so especially with Summoner. I guess to wrap up too, this is a card that doesn't see a ton of play. It's not like a card that sees playing a lot of other decks in the format. I was really impressed with this card today, especially the curve that came up a couple of times when we went Summoner on 2 into Warboss on 3, and then like activated Summoner on 4, hitting the City's Blessing and keeping the token. It just felt very, very strong. All right, what are we doing? We've got one more standard deck before I'm all done for the day. We've got Sultai, Muldrotha to wrap things up here. You're good enough to play real ranked Magic now? Unfortunately, I don't quite stand up to the ranked test. Just can't do it.